Hello, YouTube. How's everybody doing? It's been a while, so I would like to catch up with my fam and tell you what's been going on. First of all, I just came back from Brazil about 2 weeks ago. Oh, I'm also going to take down my hair. Let me know if it's too distracting, and I'll stop doing the videos where I take down my hair. It's no problem. Um, but I just came from Brazil doing a 10-day ayahuasca retreat and it was amazing. Beautiful. The people are beautiful. It was my first time out of the country, so being like bombarded with like a whole nother culture. People mostly don't speak English there. So it was interesting and a learning experience and beautiful. So I'm so excited I got that opportunity to do that. Um, let's see, where do I begin? I've learned so many things just doing that alone, and I learned a lot of things coming back and trying to integrate what happened and how I feel and what process I'm in. Uh, yeah, it's been a wild ride for your girl. So, first, I have a job interview, so I have to take my hair down anyway. So I figured I'd talk to you guys and take it down, at the same time. So let's see. First of all, I go to Brazil and it's beautiful. I'm in the Amazon. I'm with these beautiful native people and I get to do ayahuasca and in the place where it's made and it's planted and it grows right from the ground of beautiful Mother Earth. So it was super special for the first couple of journeys. And then I ended up getting sick and doing ayahuasca at the same time. So, like, the journeys began to get a little difficult and it really kind of like affected me. So, I'm not sure if it was I actually ended up getting COVID. So I'm not sure if it was COVID because, it causes muscle pains and all this other stuff. So I'm not sure if it was that or the ayahuasca trying to like teach me something. And to be honest, it was probably a little bit of both. Uh, yeah, so that happened and it was very interesting coming back to the United States. I ended up having to stay like 5 extra days until I got a negative COVID test. Um, and so, I'm sorry, stuff is like coming on out. But I have a job interview today, so I need to get this done. Yes. Okay, bam. That was quick. Sorry. Okay, perfect. Perfect enough. So, okay, back to you guys. Um, yeah, it was interesting. So I come back and apparently I entered the dark night of the soul, which was not fun at all. I had like the blissed out stage for like a good 8 months since I did ayahuasca. And now I go there and I feel like I was called to go there and it wasn't what I expected, which is why you should have no expectations and wants because I wanted something and ayahuasca was like, no, I'm gonna give you what you need, and what you need is this, and to go through the dark night of the soul. So, and I didn't even know what I was going through. I was just like, who am I? Like low energy, stuck in like I don't even know this like wormhole of like losing my faith for a second, like losing me. I'm like, who am I? I am like nobody. And, still, you're nobody and everything at the same time. But at that point, I was like, who am I? Like, I don't know who I am. I just, I don't know. Like, completely, if you would have saw me like 2 weeks ago versus today, you would have thought I was two different people because finally, like, I got out of it. So I'm gonna share what how I got out of it. And maybe it'll connect to a couple of people and get you on that road to getting out of whatever circumstances you are in, because this is happening collectively. A lot of people are going through a lot of things right now, and even over the past couple of months. So me writing it down is only going to help me. So I figured I could tell you and maybe help you guys if you're open to it, or maybe it'll help lead you into the right direction. So let's get started. Um, I didn't know what I was going through, and once I figured it out, I watched a couple of YouTube videos because normally I'm like, I'm all up in it. What's the next YouTube video about this and the awakening and how to better yourself and what tools do I need to use? And like at that point, I was like, oh, like maybe one or two videos, like not in the mood. And so I ran into this one video and she was talking about the steps to awakening. And I'm like, okay, yeah, that sounds like me. Yeah, I was in the bliss stage. And then she was like, dark night of the soul. And I'm like, where you question everything, you question who you are, you question, is this the right anything? Like, normally I would be like, this is where I'm supposed to be because I'm here and it's meant to be. But in the Amazon, after that, I was like, am I supposed to be here? Like, maybe it was a mistake. Like, I don't know what to do, who I am, where to go. And then, like, a few days before I went to Brazil, I, well, 2 weeks before I went to Brazil, I put in my 2 week notice. So now I'm coming back and like, I don't really care about anything. I'm like, I just need some sleep. I need to get my energy back up from COVID. I need to do a whole bunch of stuff. And I'm like, in the zone, like, no, before I went to Brazil, I would have been like, hey, like, soon as I get home, filling out applications, trying to find the next step. But when I got back, I was like, I'm not even worried about it, which was kind of nerve wracking, and it made me nervous in the back of my head. Like, why am I not worried about getting a job? And I got out of that, I'm filling out applications, even though me filling them out, I'm like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. Like, that sounds like horrible. And I know I just want to do something that calls to me, that I'm interested in, that also can help other people. I just don't want to be in the rat race of 3D or, regular shit. So, like, yeah, so that happened. Anyways, getting back to the dark night of the soul. So I'm like I finally realized what's going on. And that made me feel a whole lot better just knowing what was happening, because I was very worried, and like, I was worried, but I wasn't worried. I don't even know, like, I couldn't organize my thoughts. I couldn't organize my emotions. I couldn't figure out what I felt at any given moment during that week. And yeah, so I ended up volunteering because whatever new me this was, um, acts of service is going to be what I need in whatever version I become from here on out. Like, acts of service, helping other people is what I'm going to like to do from here on out, no matter how much I evolve as a person and a um, spiritual soul, a spiritual body as I work through these lessons. Yeah, acts of service. So I actually volunteered a weekend at this church I go to, and it's just so filled with love and healing that I couldn't help but get like osmosis, your healing was my healing and my healing is your healing, right? So I'm going through that and like thinking, and I just thought about in high school, the situation randomly popped up in my head. Like, this girl who like really wanted to be my friend, and like I just wasn't having it, and she just seemed like annoying and needy and stuff like that, which is horrible to say. I'm sorry about that. But it was how I felt at the time. And just wasn't giving her the chance. Like she just wanted to be like a close friend, like some of my buddies and stuff. And, I just thought about that and I'm like, dude, like she, what happened was she was like that kid that never gets attention, and a guest comes and they're like all up in their face like, hey, pick me, look at what I can do, look at me, look at this, watch this. And because they like want your attention and you're not giving it to them, so they trying even harder to get your attention. They're doing too much. And I'm like, fuck, like all they really need is love at the end of it. Like they're wanting love, attention, genuine connection with another person. And so I was like, fuck, like, and that was a mirror of like the neediness I don't like in myself, and like how I kind of reject that in other people. So I'm like, the next needy person I meet, like I'm gonna give them sincere attention, positive attention, love from the heart, platonic love, but like love from the heart. And so it was like an epiphany, and it was amazing. And then like I realized, how volunteering, a lot of people are doing um, work for themselves to become better, and how proud I am of the guests like who are doing work, because it's not easy. And yeah, it's not easy. But it's rewarding and worth it afterwards, after you get through it, after you climb that hill and get to, well, there's never the top, but get to the next level of you becoming the best version of yourself at that time, because we're never going to be perfect. There's always going to be things we can work on. So I, I forgot what I was saying. Anyways, I don't even know. Um, damn it. I know it's a mirror, all this other stuff. Y'all know I'm not good at editing and I'm already 12 minutes in, but we're gonna get through this. Let me see how I got out of the dark night of the soul, being a mirror. But yes, giving somebody that genuine attention and love, and giving yourself that. Oh, bam. Okay, I got it. So how proud I am of guests, working hard and doing the work. I'm doing the work too. You're doing the work too. So be proud of yourself and give yourself that love and compassion that you give everybody else. And that's why I was like, shit, you know, I'm proud of me too. And then another thing was, get you a group of people that have your back, that are on the same frequency or energy vibe as you. I went to my family, I went to my soul village, my soul tribe, and it was just so much love there. And a mirror doesn't have to be just negative mirrors. It's positive mirrors as well. So I'm looking at this person, this friend of mine, and like they just love me so much. And it's a reflection of how much you love yourself. And when you love this person, I love Jack. We'll use Jack as a name. I love Jack so much. He's my best friend. Like, he brings out this part of me that's just full of love, right? And so I just look at Jack and I'm like, I love myself so much, because I love Jack so much. And then I look at the way Jack loves me and I'm like, Jack loves himself so much because of the way Jack loves me. And it's a reflection, anytime you're near that person. And then it just got bigger. I thought about family, how much I love them and they love me. And it's just a reflection of our love for ourselves. And then I thought about someone who passed away, and I'm like, I loved him so much, and it's like I loved myself so much, and that part that blah, that that person brought out of me, and it just I had epiphanies and more after that, and I'm like, well, I'm growing so much, I'm able to show so much love, and then I just got personal, and I'm like, what about my ex? He still triggers me, or not? He still triggers me. I get triggered because I mean, I guess he triggers me, or I trigger myself by talking with them, And so I'm like, what about that? I'm not the best about that, and so I realized that we'll have conversations, and he'll be like, "Oh, I'm gonna do this. This is the next adventure or process I'm going to do. This is the next uh venture I'm going to take." Or he has these ideas about starting different businesses, and I've known him for years, all the time, all these different businesses, and it never happens. And so I just got to the point where, like, okay, dude, like, or all right, like, I'll believe it when I see it, which is like not nice. And I'm like, why do I do that? Why do I kind of like put his ideas down or put what he's working on down, even though it's an ex and we have a volatile relationship? I was like, I need to stop doing that. And then I realized it was like, it's because he hurt me. And it- it's hard for me to show that love to someone who hurt me, And I'm like, a lot of these people are just broken like I was, unhealed from their traumas. And I'm not saying I'm healed from all my traumas. I'm still working on myself, but this is a part of it, being self aware. If you're not self aware of what you're doing to other people or how you react to other people or, this and that, then how are you going to fix anything? So I was at the point where, okay, so he hurt me, so I want to hurt him in any way I can, which is like verbal, Like, and I'm not, sometimes I call him names, I'm gonna be honest, but that's, yeah. So, see, being honest and self aware, and so I was thinking about that and I'm like, well, he's unhealed and, he can only come from the place, he can only respond or relate from the place that he's at, If he's not at that healing, self aware place, then he's going to respond from that. If he's in a traumatic, like angry place, he's going to respond like that. And we were young, so, even now. But the point is, I'm like, you need to show that person love because that's what everyone needs in the end. And then I was like, oh, fuck. You know what it is? He's a mirror for like all of my shit. The insecurity, the sneakiness, the bad shit that you don't want to admit to yourself, right? So he's that reflection, like he did me wrong. I just, anyways. So I'm like, if I could love him for his imperfections platonically, then I could love myself for all that, like that for all of my imperfections, right? Yes. And like genuinely love myself, right? So now I'm at the point where I am genuinely forgiving myself and genuinely forgiving people. So now when I'm ready, genuinely ready, I will call him and say that I am genuinely sorry for my part because I wasn't perfect and it's not a one-way street, for my part, and genuinely forgive him for my perception of him hurting me, right? So, That it's beautiful. And now, like, I'm trying to expand it, you know? I really am working on, like, genuinely forgiving. And, like, I've forgiven plenty of people, even uh, my mom, who had a drug addiction when we were little, and it just for a long time. And so, I used to be like, oh, she just like abandoned her kids, which is kind of true, but she was like drug addiction is something serious. It's a psychological trauma, all that shit, and you're building trauma on more trauma that you have to fix. So, I I just understand more working on myself. I understand more where other people come from. Like we all started somewhere, and especially like people who have been healed and or are not are working on healing themselves. Like I said, no one's perfect, and this is a process, a lifetime process, and you can't go back. So when you go to make these steps, doing ayahuasca or doing meditation and doing yoga and trying to be the best version of yourself, you can't go back. So be ready and be prepared for a lot of work. And it's hard at times, but you're doing this for you. You know what I mean? And congratulations and good fucking job. You know what I mean? Like, seriously, I am so proud of you. And like that, I am so proud of me too. So, that's about it. Hopefully, I get some organized ideas coming to you soon. Like I said, I'm just coming from Brazil, so like my ideas, words are a little bit uh cluttered. And once I get them organized in this brain and in this heart, then I will share some more. But I have a lot of writing to do and I have an interview to get ready for. So, peace out. Love you guys. Quick video. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great week.